So in today's program, we're going to be recreating a classic game called BopIt. Now in BopIt, the way it works is that you get an instruction, and as quick as you can, you gotta put the right input in. So I'm gonna think ahead. I'm gonna have the user press the A button, the B button, and just to shake it up a little bit, I'm gonna have them give it a shake as well. Now I'm thinking ahead, and I know I'm going to want to make sure that I'm including my icon on the start. Now this has nothing to do with my actual program, but what it does do is that when I put the microbit, I've downloaded it, every time I change that icon, and it just tells me if my program's working, that if I've downloaded my code onto the microbit. So that's set, I don't have to touch the unstart again. Now, my game is forever going to be given the instructions to either press the A button, B button, or shake. Now, if I recall from my previous lessons, anytime I want to randomly select something, I've always created a variable. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to make a variable. I'm going to call this one action, because it's going to be the action that I want the user to complete. So forever, in this infinite loop, I'm going to set this action to a random number between 1 and 3. That's because I've got 3 inputs that we're going to use: A, B, and shake. Now, I want to make a selection. So if our action variable is 1, we're going to display our, tell the user to press the A button. So I go to my logic, and I grab the conditional, that selection statement. So now it's saying if true, so I go back and I want to do a comparison statement. I want to compare my action variable to 1. So I go back to my variables and I drag that over. So in my program, if action is 1, I'm going to tell the user to press the A button. So I'm going to grab the show string, and there we go. So forever in an infinite loop, and you can see it running in the background. If the random number is is 1, we're going to show A. So I could have 3 different if statements, but I've noticed there's a little plus sign here. So if I press it, I now have something called an if-else statement. If this statement is true, if action is 1, it's going to show my string A. If it's not 1, it's going to run my else statement. So that works if I've got 2 options, but here I've got 3. So I'm going to press that plus again, and now I have an if-else statement. Now that works as if this one is true, it runs that statement. Otherwise, it runs what's in the else statement. So I'm going to save myself some time, and I'm going to duplicate that comparison block. And so now I'm checking if my random variable action is 2. If it is, I want to output B. So if it's 1, it's outputting A. If it's 2, it's outputting B. And so of course, that just leaves 3, our default, so that's going to be shake. So I think I'm going to use the icon image for shake, so I'm going to grab that one for shake. Now you'll notice in the program, it's running quite rapidly. There's no way we can actually react to that in time. So we're going to add a little bit of a pause, some time for the user to actually react. So if I go to my basics again, you'll notice that the time is in milliseconds. So you can play around with your starting time, but I'm going to do half a second to start with. So in our program, it gives you half a second to actually put that instruction in. I want to be really clear when they've actually run out of time, so I'm actually going to clear my screen after their time is up.